ang daming experiences in China. You can just imagine, for 3 years, actually mga 4 years, kasi yung first year, dedicated sa studying the language.
Marunong ka na, fluent ka ba, Mandarin? Ano ba, Mandarin?
Mandarin,
Hokkien?
oh. Required ka to take, may level yun kasi, HSK until level, I think 7, if I'm not mistaken. Kailangan until first level, conversational. Hindi ka talaga mabubuhay eh. Kasi they will not bring you, if you've been to Beijing, may English pa eh. Sa Xiamen,
Shanghai pa lang napuntahan ko eh.
Shanghai may English, di ba? Kasi
mainland.
business center nila yun eh. Yung mga provinces nila, like Xiamen, all other places, wala. Ang hirap ng
Sample nga.
language. Ano naman gusto mo sabihin? Actually,
Shout out ka sa mga nakikinig mula sa mainland.
Sao Shanghao, good morning yun. Tapos,
Legit
tapos siguro, ang hindi ko makalimutan yung experience mo pag after studies eh. Siyempre may konting gimmick, drinking, gumagaling ka mag-Mandarin. Pag may konting intoxication.
Pag nagka-girlfriend ka na Chinese.
Hindi, yun ang sabi nila. Ano daw yun? It's a strategy kasi may language partner. Pero I never tried that. Ang ginawa kong language partner ko, guy. Pero plays
Bakit?
basketball.
Basketball.
So, yun, kunyari, basketball, Da Lang Xiao. So, yun yung basketball doon.
Daw lang siya.
Da. Kasi big.
Oo.
Big court, Lang Xiao. Lang Xiao is the ball itself.
Da lang siya.
So, yung mga ganun. Tapos, order ka. Pag medyo intoxicated ka, tatawag ka. Wei, ni hao, lao pan, wo yao, pijo, ping ma. So, ang sabi ko, hello, tawag kasi sa tindero doon, boss, lao pan, wo yao, I want to order ping ma, malamig na beer, pijo.
Pijo.
So, it's the beer. So, I want to order na. Tapos, i-deliver na yun sa place mo. So, yun yung hindi ko makalimutang mga lines na lagi kong ginagamit eh.
Ano yung, parang fluent na fluent. Madulas na madulas pa sa dila mo.
Pero
Pare.
to be honest,
Ano beer doon? Qingtao?
no, may mas masarap silang mga beer doon na hindi available dito.
Talaga.
Oo.
Ano?
Yung ang pinakamasarap for me is yung Harbin.
Harbin.
Harbin beer.
Parang di ko pa narinig.
Galing yun sa yung boundary na ng Russia. So, yung beer doon kasi is hindi siya malt. It's made from parang cereal type na beer siya.
Malt. Yung mga...
Barley type.
Pati, yung mga hops niya.
Yes,
parang ganun.
so talagang mix siya. Tapos fermented for mga 20 to 15 days.
Okay.
Bago siya i-carbonate. Tapos lalagay siya sa bottle.
Okay.
So yun yung experience doon sa China. Pero it's not all about drinking naman in China.
So ano ba inaral mo doon, pare?
Ang inaral ko
Maliban
doon,
sa pag-order ng beer.
ang inaral ko doon, first year ko was language. Tapos second year, third year, until fourth year halos, focus on world or global economy talaga.
Okay.
So, ang perspective na binigay doon was China is positioning itself not as a superpower, but someone who can provide to the rest of the world. Yun ang messaging nila. And surprisingly, wala silang binabanggit about doon sa issue ng West Philippine Sea.
Ano ba yung before we go into definition ng just being a supplier or a support to the rest of the global economy, yung Xiamen, saan ba siya located? Ano ba itsura ng lugar na yon? Pagka-landing mo doon, ano yung simoy ng hangin doon? Ano itsura ng mga nakikita mo doon?
Kala ko backward siya kasi probinsya yung backstory sa akin. Pero Xiamen is actually very rooted sa Philippine history.
Paano?
Xiamen kasi is part of the Fujian province of China. Xiamen is the city.
Okay.
Fujian is the province.
Okay.
And Fujian is actually the roots of many Chinese Filipino na big businessmen dito. Sila Lu Xiotan, sila Henry C, doon sila galing talaga, Fujian province. And napuntahan ko mismo yung Fujian province merong rebulto si Jose Rizal doon because Rizal traces his roots in the Fujian province. So yung
Si
sinasabi...
mismong Rizal, Chinese?
Oo. Yung sinasabi sa history na si Rizal is 15% Chinese, rooted siya sa Fujian province. Kasi yung side ng nanay niya, ano yun, first immigrant from the Fujian province.
Talaga?
Yes, kasi ang nangyari
Bakit
ng...
15% lang? 25 siguro.
Hindi, basta yung lola pa niya at lola niya sa mother side.
Oo.
Or lolo sa lola. Hindi yung basta mother side yung
okay.
traces ng roots.
Okay.
Ang naging history was nung mag-migrate yung mga first Chinese during the revolution in China. Ang pinuntahan nila was Taiwan kasi Xiamen is very adjacent to Taiwan. So, pwede kang mag-swim lang going to Taiwan. Tapos, actually, nung time ko, ano lang siya, Roro lang
So
siya.
medyo kung ito yung Philippines, ito yung Taiwan, nandito siya.
Yun lang ang
banda.
Xiamen, no?
Okay.
It's only a 3.5 hour flight going
Okay.
there. Tapos, pag nasa Xiamen ka, mag-Roro ka, 20 minutes, nasa Taiwan ka na.
Okay.
Oh, so, malapit lang talaga siya. And if there's yung simbahan ng Catholic sa Xiamen, tanaw mo na yung Taiwan.
Kumbaga, pag nasa Tugigaraw ka,
Oh, tanaw mo na yung di ba?
Yung radyo mo, dati yung mga office mates ko na based sa Tugigaraw, sa
Kuha na nila
Ilocos,
station
pare.
sa ano eh.
Pag walang music, walang 89.9 doon, malabo.
Oo.
Pare, naririnig doon nila sa radyo. Chinese
so,
radio
kuha mo na.
stations
Ganun kalakas ganun kalapit, ibig sabihin yung proximity. So, ganun din. So, yung first Filipino migrant that came to the Philippines, actually, doon na-trace yung roots ni Jose Rizal.
Talaga. At tapos may statue ni Jose Rizal.
Yes. I've seen that firsthand.
Ano yung tsura? Mukhang Pinoy.
The usual Rizal. And
Okay.
every birthday niya, every death anniversary niya, yung consulate natin doon, they go there, they naglalagay ng wreath doon sa statue monument ni Rizal.
Ano yung kwento nila kay Rizal? Ba't siya nagka-statue?
Because they consider Rizal to be Chinese and Rizal is a national hero in the Philippines. So parang it's also
Para may respeto pa din.
giving them immense pride na may Chinese
Kumbaga,
blood na dumadaloy dito na
Yung pinakamagaling na Pilipino.
may Chinese blood.
Galing sa China din pala.
May ganun.
Pare.
Oo.
Talaga lahat
History
galing
yan,
sa China
history
na
yan.
talaga. Ngayon,
Humanities, undergrad.
Lupit ah. Okay. Tapos, balik tayo dun sa sinabi mo na
Flyer.
hindi nila balak maging global superpower. Ang plano nila is maging, ano sabi mo?
Supplier of the world's needs.
Supplier of the world's needs. Ano difference nun dalawa? And ano yung baka framework nila in terms of being the supplier of the world's needs?
Yung iba kasi, they would always equate it to, supremacy in terms of economic prowess. Ang nakita ko kasi sa perspective nila, firsthand, this is just my thoughts. One of the many things na nakita ko when they were trying to build their economy from their books. For example, parcel of land. Diba? Nung time na actually nag-root to dun sa book na binasa ko, may isang American scholar that actually did mention na because of the booming population of China, by around 2005, 2007, they'll be in extreme poverty and yung famine or maraming magugutom, starvation for the population. Yun yung projection ng American economist na yan. And when that was given, yung mga Chinese scholars, they tried to deduce a way to answer that problem. So kung may parcel of land ka, ang pinaplant mo kunyari onion. Nagpa-plant ka ng onion, tanim ka lang dyan, farmer ka, di ba? Sa atin, farmer, parang baba yung tingin. Sa kanila, pag farmer ka, almost the same footing noon. So mababa ka lang, farmer ka lang. Ginawa ng government, they elevated the power of the people. How? Kung ikaw farmer, sige, mag-plant ka dyan ng onion. If you can produce, kunyari, mga 30 kilos a month, di ba? If you go beyond that quota na i-impose ko sa'yo, anything in excess, the government will buy it double the price or same as the international price. ikaw farmer, di-incentivize ka na, di ba? So, farm ka 30 kilos, that will be for domestic consumption. Di ba? And then, yung remaining, that's the
Yung
thing.
excess.
Export nila ngayon yun.
Okay.
Yun yung isusupply nila to the rest of the world. So doon nagsimula yung perspective na yun. So it was merely creating self-sufficiency for them. But at the same time, they wanted to control the world by giving, pag kulang kayo, we can supply.
Pero, ang galing nun parang ginagawa nila, nagsiset sila ng right
Quota.
targets,
Yes,
quotas, and then they give the right incentives to drive the right behavior.
Yes.
Essentially, if you increase your productivity or your yield, you will be incentivized with double the value of what you
you're
would
producing,
if
diba?
if normal person ka lang, diba? So, that said, maging mas wealthy ka,
Yes.
and then you help overall production and export.
Hindi ko ma-imagine pag sinabi ng tao na, ay, wala, yung mga Chinese na yan, walang quality. Yun pa, I'm not debunking that statement, but I just wanna correct it, na when people say, pag galing sa China, walang quality. One thing that's really interesting, I stayed there for 3 years. Hindi pa dumarating yung mga leaning shoes, yung mga Anta. Uso na yan doon. It's much more expensive pag bibili ka ng Nike shoes sa China than bumili ka ng locally produced nila. So they give premium or lower prices doon sa locally produced nila than the ones that are imported. So protektado talaga yung local goods. So bili ako ng Anta shoes kasi bibili ako ng Nike, ang mahal. So bili ako ng Anta shoes, yun ang ginagamit ko, basketball, running. For my 3 years of stay, naiuwi ko pa siya sa Pilipinas. I was able to use it for a couple of more years. Naibigay pa siya sa ibang kamag-anak.
Tsaka Apple,
Diba?
Nike,
They're all being assembled
lahat
in...
naman galing sa China. Even yung number 1 na electric vehicle globally is from China.
China na, diba?
So, baka yun yung, baka maybe decades ago.
Yes,
Diba? But I think now, iba na din eh. Hindi na din siya tulad nung dati eh. Diba? Ngayon, pag sabi mong made in China, mura. Pero depende sa
ano.
industriya.
Yes,
Alam mong quality din eh. Diba?
Tsaka in China, mapapansin mo, they support talaga local industry. Kung tayo merong Green Hills, sila meron ding parang ganong Green Hills. Pero this is what I know of, they're not a signatory of any intellectual property. So kaya allowed sila internally to create yung mga brands similar to, kunyari, I don't know if you've heard of the brand ERKE, ERK, ang tawag nun.
Hindi ko alam
So
yun.
check siya, pero may isa pang check sa gitna.
Oh.
So in-infuse nila yung dalawang Nike in the logo. Pero pareho niya yung mga itsura ng Nike shoes.
I think kaya din maraming, I think from a local Chinese market perspective, di ba? Okay yun.
Yes.
Di ba? Pero I think yan din yung isa sa mga nagiging issues globally kung bakit mga multinationals now avoid setting up factories in China. Kasi from what I know, after they put it there, tapos sabihin natin, natutunan na kung paano. Bigla daw meron katabi na carbon
almost the same.
copy.
Kwento ko siya bakit. Magandang
Bakit?
perspective yan. Pwede magbanggit ng brand, no?
Hindi ko din alam eh. Pero sabihin na lang natin, allegedly.
Allegedly, sabihin natin,
Kahit huwag ko sabihin mo na lang siguro, ano.
kunyari car brand.
Oh, may isang sasakyan.
Si Car F.
Okay, F.
Si F brand. Okay.
Okay.
Gusto niya ipasok yung a certain model nung sasakyan niya in China. Gusto niya ibenta. Gusto niya magbenta lang. The requirement of the Chinese government was very simple. Bigay mo muna yung blueprint ng kotse for you to sell that here. Gets mo na what will happen, di ba? So, that affirms ko ano yung sinasabi mo kay na Jolo na meron kang planta dito, a few months, may bagong plantang tatayo, alam mo na kung anong gagawin dun.
Gets.
That's how they operate. So, for a certain brand to be available dun, may ganong requirement sila.
Gets. Kumbaga,
Kasama sa mga under the table requirement. If
under the table ba? Parang hindi naman eh.
tahimik siya eh.
Over the table naman. Kasi requirement, sasabihin talaga sa'yo.
Pero
Kailangan, eh.
hindi siya out in the public.
I
Diba?
think medyo common,
May common na
knowledge
gano'n,
na ata siya. Kaya, yun nga, nag-iiba din ng supply chain strategy
Yes,
yung
yung mga
mga
companies.
companies. I think if your company is tech and innovation based, iwas ka
Iwas ka
talaga.
talaga doon.
Pero if your company is economies of scale, and then you're not banking on, let's say, patented technology as your differentiator versus your competitors,
You can.
talagang
Pwede,
sa
pwede.
China ka na lang, di ba?
Wala nang best alternative. And
Correct.
um,
Kumbaga quality-wise, pare-parehas, brand lang talaga. And then yung industry where you're in is not competing based on the latest innovations, based on the latest technologies. Kumbaga, pare-parehas na yan at one point. Yun, doon ka na
Papasok
sa
dun,
low
diba?
cost where you could get the best deals, di ba? Na economies of scale. Pero if kunwari, yun nga, sasakyan, cellphone,
mga tech side talaga.
tech side na alam mong ang labanan ay pagandahan ng experience, pa-advance ng features,
Delikado yun pag doon.
huwag ka na doon, di ba? Baka sa initial phases mo, sa ibang bansa ka na medyo mas stringent yung process, privacy, tech governance. Pero at one point kasi, pag naging public na din yung certain technologies, tapos hindi na siya competitive advantage, pwede ka na lumipat doon din siguro.
Nung nakita ko yung strategy nila, how agriculture flourishes in China.
Galing.
Galing talaga. Even in Thailand, you would see sino yung mga nagbibigay ng tip sa kanila. Mga 60% Chinese din eh.
Talaga.
So, yung impact of Chinese doing business in another country has been kumbaga deeply rooted na eh sa Pilipinas. At tsaka sa ibang bansa, hindi lang sa atin.
Shoutout ka dun sa mga Chinese na tumulong sa'yo, pare. Batiin mo naman ng sample ka ulit.
Sino ba ang prof? Si Prof. Hindi ko na matandaan mga pangalan. Shen Hongfang. Yun yung advisor ko. Si Professor Wu Chongbo. Xie. Lao Shi. Wo Henhao. So sabi ko sa kanya,
Pang-vice presidente yung
hindi.
Chinese mo, pare.
Pangalan niya Professor Wu Chongbo. Xie, thank you. Wo Henhao, very good. I learned a lot from you. So
Ako, alam ko lang. Shanse.
yung counting yun eh. Counting. Hindi ko makalimutan yung counting na yan dahil pag hindi ka marunong magbilang, sasabihin nila siya, Shi. 20 yun eh. So, if you add Shi, SHI, that's times 10. EPI, pag pi, YAI, that's 100. So, yung san, dadagdagan mo lang nun, Shi, tas pi, nagiging tens or hundreds.
Okay.
So,
Galing. Pare, naniniwala na talaga ako nag-aaral ka doon, pare.
may joke nga si Jesse dyan eh. Sabi niya sa akin, nung makagraduate ako, tapos nagkita-kita kami, sabi niya, pare, nag-aaral ka sa China. Di ba maraming fake sa China? Diploma ba fake? Sabi ko, loko ka talaga.
Si Attorney Jesse
attorney na ngayon
of Cavite.
Oo.
Shout out. Okay. Siguro in terms of yung mga nakikita mo na opportunities ng Philippines na pwede natin gayahin sa Chinese ways of working, ano yun?
Number one will have to be yung productivity levels nila. Kasi as you age, sa atin kasi, which is, I don't see it as a bad strategy for us. Kasi sa atin, yung mga matatanda, ang ginagawa natin, inaalagaan na natin, di ba? We take care of them, hindi natin nilalagay sa foster care, sinasama natin sa bahay. Sa kanila, hindi eh. Yung mga matatanda sa kanila, self-sufficient pa rin. If you go to mga supermarket, groceries, meron palang SM sa Xiamen bago ako makalimutan. Doon ko nakita na sa food court nila, di ba may nagliligpit sa atin dito. Ang mga nagliligpit doon, usually mga elders. Kasi hindi na nila kaya yung trabaho na you work in a factory, yung mga productivity levels mataas. Doon na lang sila sa mga menial jobs. So ganun yung status in their society. And I think that's very important kasi naka-instill sa kanila as early as their youngest age na kailangan ko magtrabaho, I need to provide for myself because all the things I need will be provided by government for as long as I have money. So ganun yung way of thinking nila. And I think that has to be instilled among Filipinos.
Sa atin kasi, pag 70 na, pahinga ka na lang
Pahinga
sa
ka
bahay,
na,
tambay
diba?
ka na lang.
Ganon. Hindi ko naman sinasabi na it's a bad thing, but let's be honest, merong ibang nag-retire at age of 60 na kaya pa talaga magtrabaho. And they can do much more. Kahit yung mga consulting lang, giving advices.
Turo.
Oo, turo. Kasi they have the experience eh. Yung pa, most professors, wala masyadong batang professor. Most of them are on their 60s, 70s. And arguably, after nilang magtrabaho sa company, dun lang sila nagta-transition to teaching.
Para may wisdom and actual. No?
Yes.
Oo.
So yun yung mga bagay na tingin ko should have been inculcated, pwede incorporate in Philippine culture. Kasi tayo, we have, strong family ties. Sa kanila, walang ganun eh. So hindi ka pwede pinsan ko yan, lalapit ako dyan, papatulong ako. Walang ganun. If this is the process, you follow the process.
Tsaka to your point, tsaka minsan, mas malakas ka the more na wag ka titigil magtrabaho eh, di ba? Parang naalala ko, pag pumunta ako sa Hong Kong, Singapore, kahit dyan nung pumunta ako sa China, sa Macau, pare, tumatawid sa kalsada.
Matanda.
80 mag-isa.
Tapos, steady maglakad. Hindi katulad sa atin. Pag nakita ko, medyo yung uugod-ugod eh.
Pero iba din naman kasi yung pedestrian lanes nun, di ba?
Maayos eh.
Alam mong di ka babanggain eh, di ba?
Tapos siguro dagdag ko doon is yung na pedagogical aspect of sharing knowledge. Kasi nung bumalik ako ng China, nasa DICT naman ako, ang nakita ko was really something that hindi naman ako na-touch but nainggit ako. Kasi grade 2, tinuturo ang magpalipad ng drone. Parang nung grade 2 ka, anong tinuturo sa'yo?
Ano nga ba?
Diba, mostly basa, alphabet.
Oo.
Doon, grade 2,
Hindi ko na nga maalala,
tinuturo ang magpalipad ng drone.
Oo.
So, ibig sabihin,
Magbasa lang ata ng clock yung inaaral ko pa noon eh.
they level up yung level of education that they're actually telling the students. So, at 2 years old, marunong ka na magpalipad ng drone. Hindi ko naman sinasabi na talagang they'll be spies in the future kasi papalipad ng drone, di ba? I'm not saying that. Pero, imagine mo, 2 years old, yun na yung ginagawa mo.
Oo nga.
Di ba? So, I think that's important to be looked upon. Kasi yung level of education natin, no offense, we're just moving pa lang. Sila, kung ano yung technology, sumasabay sila.
Okay.
Kung ano yung trend, sinasabay nila. Kung kailangan ng farming, they have specialized classes that would teach students farming. Kung kailangan mong yung desert, maging arable lands, they will teach that to the students.
Okay. Parang ano talaga, may specialization based on your potential contribution to the
Yes.
nation, no? Very, paano ba? Siguro, deliberate sila in terms of the opportunities and maybe the pathways to contribute.
Yes.
Yung, parang kanina, nabanggit mo, dun sa Fujian, sa Xiamen, may simbahan kang napupunta.
Oo,
doon.
meron.
Kala ko, di ba, communist yung China, di ba? Pero, pwede simbahan doon?
All other religions are allowed. Ito yung nakakatawa, nasa ibang island siya. So we have to take a ferry 5 minutes from the port to another island. Andun yung lahat ng mga ibang religion. So may Islam, may Catholicism, meron ding Protestant, available naman siya.
And then ano yung policy nila doon? Kailangan lang ibang island or
Hindi naman, kasi eventually
Kanya-kanya din.
nalipat yung Catholic Church into the mainland eh. Hindi ko alam bakit. Kasi nung nagsisimba ako, I go there pag Sunday morning kasi in English Mass. Sa hapon daw, it's a Chinese Mass. So eventually, nung patapos na yung aral ko sa China, doon na ako napunta sa mainland kasi nalipat nga daw. Kasi marami nang nagsisimba as Catholic din.
So, pwede.
Pwede, allowed siya. Hindi
Akala
totoo
ko bawal.
No. Allowed siya.
Fake
allowed
news
siya.
yun.
Fake news yun.
So, yung balita, fake.
Fake yan.
Fabricated.
Di totoo yan, di totoo yan.
Okay.
Allowed to practice other kinds of religion.
Okay.
Pero they would prefer pa rin naman Buddhism as yung one of the main religion.
Ang sabi nila, ang Chinese style daw of running a government is parang communist in terms of governance but capitalist in terms of economic policies. Ano masasabi mo sa kasabihan na yun?
Sa akin, if it works for a certain country, then there's nothing wrong with that. That's my perspective. Kasi look at Singapore. Singapore is authoritarian din. May close semblance with a communist type of government. But yet, these countries are actually quite successful.
Yeah.
US is a democracy. They're quite successful as well. Tayo, we're a democracy but we have some
We're
questions.
not successful. I think obvious naman yun, pare. Pwede mo naman sabihin yun, pare.
Well, we're not successful. So I think if it's
Baka di
something-
maniwala sa atin yung mga nakikinig pag sinabi
Diba?
natin successful tayo.
Kalokohan naman yun. So if it's something that's working for a certain country, wala akong problema
Yeah.
dun eh.
Yeah, I remember nung binasa ko yung libro ni Lee Kuan Yew nung pandemic, pare. Ang sabi nga niya, ang style niya, ang tanong lang niya is, does it work?
Yes.
Yun lang.
Simple lang.
In fact, he was even critical to the US style of democracy where there is too much freedom
Yes.
that it actually deteriorates or diminishes culture and the effectiveness of, let's say, government. Kasi sa kanya, ang gusto mo naman sa punot dulo, gumagana eh. At nasiservisyohan mo yung mga tao para sa kabutihan ng tao at ng bansa. But too much freedom can be contrary to that.
Yes.
Diba? So sabi niya, kailangan may authoritarian angle ka din. So I slightly agree. I mean, if we look at, or maybe not even slightly, but I agree. Kasi tayo, the way our government is structured, it's after the US system, diba? Presidential, bicameral type, and then marami tayong emphasis on freedom and policy and pero gumagana ba siya for our culture? Parang hindi eh, di ba? Kaya marami din naniniwala na kailangan iron fist or authoritarian style kasi daw sa Asian yun daw yung gumagana, di ba? Pero kailangan benevolent,
Yes.
di ba?
Leader.
Yun yung gusto ng iba eh, benevolent dictator daw dapat sa Pilipinas. May mga naging dictator na benevolent, wala, di ba? So, yun lang yung kaya tayo
May magandang
nagdado.
balikan dyan
Oo.
na aspect. Yung the Philippines there's an ongoing debate di ba? I don't know if you've heard, yung mga sasabihin ng magulang namin, nung panahon ni Marcos, maayos, mga ganito. There's a certain reality to that. Hindi siya completely false, hindi rin siya completely true. Kasi yung early stages talaga nung time ni Marcos, we were considered to be, ang tawag sa atin, tiger economy of Asia. So, HPAE, High Performing Asian Economy Style. There are a lot of articles written about it. Kasama natin dito yung Singapore yan, magkakasama sila lahat yan. And we were all moving at above 5 to 7% growth rate ng GDP natin. And marami talaga yung nagsasabi na maganda yung economy natin because during that time, people felt it. Ngayon, ang tanong kasi, for most economists, maganda yung ekonomiya, pero ba't di maramdaman ng tao? Di ba? I think yun yung perspective that gives a certain question kung bakit sinasabi nila hindi okay yung authoritarian. Kasi, hindi naman namin mafe-feel kung ano yung impact ng economy. Because for them, ang impact ng economy is something na magaang yung buhay. But if you look at how people were living during that time, they can buy everything that they need. Versus now na, you can buy everything that you need, but merong but eh.
Tipid ka.
Yun.
O yung
That's the major difference.
bawasan mo ng 20
Diba?
para for safety.
So I think yun yung discrepancy lang na hindi napapansin ng mga tao.
Yeah.
And I don't have any political color, to be honest. Kasi mas gusto ko yung sinabi ni Lee Kuan Yew, what works? Ano ba yung gumagana? 'Di ba? Napakasimple nung analogy na you adapt what is working. Wala namang one size
fits all.
'Di ba?
Yeah.
You have to tailor fit everything to how your country is being operated.
Yung sa values ng tao, yung sa
Diba?
culture ng tao.
Magkakaiba eh. Hindi mo siya pwedeng sabihin na yung gumana kay ganito, yung kay Singapore, lagay mo kay Philippines, baka hindi gumana
Hindi
yun.
din gagana.
Yung kay China, lagay mo sa atin, baka hindi gumana. What we're trying to say, you get what's good and what you think would work well in the Philippines, yun ay adapt mo.
Yep.
Diba?
Yeah. Well, we gotta take a short break. Tapos balik tayo. Tuloy natin ang kwentuhan after this break. So, Doc Gino, dun sa PhD mo on global economy, where does Southeast Asia fall into the picture in terms of the next maybe major economic breakthroughs or battlegrounds?
Pare, hindi ko makalimutan yung isang sinabi ng prof ko dyan when I was in China. Ang perception nila in China, the one who controls Eurasia, particularly Europe and Asia, controls the rest of the world. So obviously, yung eyes remains to be in Asia. And if you look at yung proximity ng Southeast Asia, andito yung lahat ng modes of transportation, which makes it a very good source of economy. Bakit? Andyan ang China, in Asia alone, andyan ang China, andyan ang India. 1/3 to 2/3 of the world's population concentrated na in those two major countries. And that alone is in itself, a good source of consumers. And if you control consumers, obviously yung goal nila, kanina I've been mentioning na ang gusto nila is to be a global supplier of goods of what the world needs. So, andun yung perspective na yun.
In short, follow the demand lang.
Yes.
Kasi population-wise, tayo, 120
million.
Indonesia is what? 300
300. Diba?
mil.
If you look at sum up the numbers.
India, 1 billion.
Diba?
Oo.
So, numbers alone, if numbers game, within Asia pa lang, ang laki na.
Tsaka, well, compared to the demography of other countries, tayo, medyo healthy pa yung young population natin. Yung median age natin is still at the 20s versus, I think, sa Europe, nasa 40s, 50s
na sila.
Diba? So, in 2-3 decades.
Overtaken mo na sila in terms of labor force, di ba?
Tsaka, yung demand, soften. Diba? So,
ang laki ng opportunity talaga. So, obviously, if you look at that, it's an edge of Asia, or particularly, some would say na even you can zoom in sa Southeast Asia. Kasi Southeast Asia alone, napaka-dynamic ng economy. If you look at how, prospective in terms of growth, andito yung may mga pinakamalalaking growth. So, andyan si Vietnam, andyan si Indonesia, obviously, andyan si Philippines. We're expected to grow still at around 4% in terms of our growth rate. So, it's not a bad number. All other countries, may mga expected silang downturn decline na. But for Southeast Asia, all numbers are still very promising.
yung lagi kasi natin naririnig yan na, GDP naman, 6-7% growth. Last year, 4.4, diba? Medyo slow siya from a GDP growth perspective. Pero lagi naman sinasabi nga ng Pinoy, parang di naman namin nararamdaman na yung mayaman ng Pilipinas, di ba? Ano masasabi mo dun?
Maganda. Crash course tayo, economics.
O sige, pare.
Site natin si Ronnie Balbiran 2024.
Okay.
Ang sabi niya, paano ba minimeasure ng ekonomiya, di ba? So ang sagot is GDP. Ako kahit economics ako, nung nagsasubject akong ganun, takot na takot ako eh. Kasi GDP, ang intindi ko lang, gross domestic product. Parang hirap intindihin eh. Yung computation niya, consumer plus income plus government spending plus export minus import, di ba? So very very numberish eh. Binigyan niya ng magandang perspective. So when you measure a country's economy, GDP. So para mas madali, gawa dito sa Pinas. So anything that's made within the Philippines, yan yung isang measure. And then you add it up to the GNP, which is the gross national product, or para mas madali, gawa ng Pinoy.
So kahit hindi sa Pilipinas ginawa, basta gawa ng Pinoy.
That forms part of the GNP.
Okay.
If you combine them, that's the real measure of the country's economy. Ang tawag dun, GNI, Gross National Income. But, para mas madali, gawa natin ito. Diba? So, it's a conglomeration of all things made by Filipinos as well as those that were made in the Philippines.
So yung GNI, Gross National Income, is both within and without
Yes.
the Philippine country
Country.
or
So,
geography.
yun. So
Okay.
if you look at that, marami kasing ang feeling nila the economy should be felt directly. But oftentimes, ang sinasabi ng mga ekonomista dyan, try to look at the numbers and try to compare certain things before. May mga ganon silang perspective. But obviously, you'd face some negativity na sasabihin nila, yung buhay kasi noon mas madali. Pero ano yung nabibili mo noon versus sa nabibili mo ngayon? Di ba? So, noon, may nabibili ka bang technology? Ngayon, you get to buy technology as well. So,
Dati, pare, mayayaman lang may cellphone.
di ba?
Ngayon, lahat may
So,
cellphone na.
That tells you that the economy is really growing. It might not be a direct impact in terms of
Improving
di ba,
your life.
But essentially, pag tinignan mo yung kapaligiran mo, that's a major difference. So,
Yun ng DICT.
Yes,
Ano
that's-
ba role ng DICT? Sorry.
ito nga eh, yun yung medyo masakit eh. DICT, pag sinabing DICT, ang alam ng tao, internet lang eh. Pag mabagal internet, reklamo kay DICT eh, di ba? But unfortunately, we're much more than that. So DICT,
Fortunately.
we're much more than that. We give more opportunities to people.
So
Aside
DICT is Department of...
Information and Communications Technology.
Okay.
Bigyan natin ng differentiation. Pag sinabi kasing IT, this refers only to the hardware component.
Okay.
Pagdating sa ICT, that's the hardware, software, as well as the services. So mas expanded yung aspeto in the ICT. So we're looking at yung internet, which is the infrastructure side. We're looking at the opportunities as well, which is the services sector. Kasi if you have good internet, good connectivity, ang mangyayari dyan, papasok lahat yan sa atin because Filipinos by nature, during the time of, I think si Maro has, when he was the DTI secretary, siya yung nagpasok talaga ng BPO industry sa atin. And nag-flourish siya when the IT BPM industry was created here. Dati kasi, pag sinabi mong IT BPM, call center lang alam ng tao eh. Ngayon, meron na yung animation, game development, software, healthcare information, tsaka yung call center.
Among many others.
Among many others.
Yeah.
So, marami na siya.
And tama ba pagkaalala ko, itong DICT is a relatively new
agency,
department
yes.
or agency. May secretary of DICT, di ba?
Yes,
Tapos reporting siya directly to the
to
president.
the president.
And then, tama ba? Parang previous administration lang to nabuo.
No, 2016 lang naging...
2016.
2016 siya naging department on itself. Before...
So previous, 2016 to 2022, di ba?
Previous
Tapos
admin
2022.
nga. So,
Tama.
ang nangyari was, galing siya ng attached agency. Yung history, medyo hindi ako familiar. But from Telecom's office, naging Commission on Telecom, Ganon. Technically, puro telco hinahawakan niya and then eventually, it became ICT.
Para dun sa mga katulad mo 15 years ago, no? Yung batang sarili mo na nag-iisip kung anong path iti-take. Private, academe, public. Ano magiging payo mo sa someone who's thinking about working in government?
Ang hirap ng tanong. Pang ano Parang pwedeng pang Mr. Universe siguro yung aspeto ng, hindi kita niyaya mag-pyramiding yung open-minded lang. Kasi pag ikaw, meron ka ng certain bias in your perspective, wala sarado ka na You're not gonna be open to new things. You're not gonna embrace new ideas. Kung ano yung nakita mong tama, yun na lang yun for the rest of your life. Plus, you live a big chunk of your life that is open to education. Kasi
So
feeling
being
ko,
open and being open to education/learning, importante
yes,
yun.
Tapos, ito siguro because of Southridge, UAP, na background, hindi mo wala yung aspect of prayer. Because at the end of the day, kahit open ka to everything, things might not come as how you expected it. Kumbaga, ina-expect ko, madali lang ang buhay, daming problema dumarating. A simple prayer would always help kasi it gives you that right mindset na you don't have to be scared because someone higher than you is actually working to help you.
And we'll sort it out eventually.
Pero merong may yung
Pag nasa gobyerno ka, dapat dinadasal mo. Lord, patawad! Joke lang.
yun ang isang magandang siguro prayer that I would like to share. When I pray, magkaiba na when I started teaching, Lord, tulungan mo ako to have more patience with students, give me knowledge, etc. Diba? Ngayon, Lord, ilayo mo ako sa tukso, sa temptasyon, etc. Kasi, I'll be very honest, di siya nawala. Hindi nawala yung aspeto ng people would ask, people would offer you. And it's really the virtue of saying no to these kinds of things. And kung wala kang matibay-tibay na pundasyon, people would...
Huwag ka na pumasok.
Huwag ka na pumasok.
Kasi makakadagdag ka lang sa problema.
That's the best way to put it. Kasi
Pero
talagang,
paano ka makakaangat kung di ka marunong maglaro ng ganyan?
you work the way work should be done. Kasi marami yung mga nagtatrabaho sa gobyerno, nagtatrabaho sila because they answer to someone. You don't answer to someone. You answer to the, cliche ito you answer to the Filipino people. Diba? Yung alam mo na makakatulong sa nakararami, still the benefit of the public good rather than the interest of one. So, ganun dapat ang perspective mo pag nasa government ka. Hindi pwedeng I serve one master.
Kung ano lang gusto ni bossing,
Hindi pwedeng ganun.
gawin lang.
You should learn how to argue. Sasabihin mo sa kanya, I think ito yung mas makakatulong, ito yung mas makaka-benefit ng mas marami. And this aligns to what, the overall direction
Purpose.
of the country. Parang nagiging makabayan yung sagutan ko dito.
Para kung may nag-iisip, di ba? I'm sure may matututo sila from you. So openness, strong foundation, and prayer, and learning to say no. Kung may isa pa, ano yun?
Fortitude. Yun ang favorite virtue
Ano ba
ko.
yung fortitude, ba?
Doing things in spite of difficulty. That's my favorite virtue when I was in Southridge.
Fortitude.
Fortitude. Kasi, dalawa mahirap yung trabaho sa gobyerno.
Oo.
Tapos, mahirap din talagang makibagay sa trabaho.
Gets.
Kasi, yung trabaho in itself, mahirap na. Tapos, yung mga katrabaho mo pa minsan mahirap.
I think sa lahat naman, pare, gano'n. Private o public. Pero I'm sure iba din yung
Feeling ko,
laban.
ako, I would agree na pareho yung kumbaga yung nature. But, I would disagree with you na mas
Baka parehas pero ibang levels.
mas mahirap yung sa amin, pare. Kasi imagine may mga times na talagang sapilitan, sa araw-arawin ka. Kailangan, alam mo lang talaga mag no, no, no. Maabot pa sa punto na talagang galit na galit sa'yo.
Hmm.
Pag talagang stand your ground na hindi po talaga pwede, magagawa.
Okay.
Yun yung something na talagang Kaya matututo kang gawin yung isang bagay kahit mahirap, pero on the good side. Kasi meron ding side na gawin mo yung mahirap na bagay on the bad side.
Tsaka, so kumbaga, if meron kang openness, open-mindedness, strong foundations, na never too late to cultivate, and then fortitude, at pinag-iisipan mong pumasok, pasok
Oo, pwede talaga.
para makatulong. Good. Well, Doc Gino, I think yan lang yung time natin for today. Maraming salamat sa conversation on your experience in China and the global economy perspectives that you provided. We'll hopefully have you back again soon. Baka meron ka bang mga projects dyan or anything you want to promote personally or at least share? Baka huling hirit mo.
Siguro I'd like to promote yung program sa DICT which is Trabahong Digital. These are digital opportunities that we open to people. And mas gusto namin mabigyan yung mga tao sa Pilipinas ng opportunity na makita nila na sa DICT hindi lang siya internet, hindi lang siya pag-i-ensure na mabilis yung internet, may internet yung lugar. Meron ding kaakibat or kasamang mga opportunity. Kasi right now, malaki na itulong ng pandemic sa DICT, to be honest.
Na-accelerate lahat.
Oo, na-accelerate eh. So right now, naintindihan ng tao na dapat matuto rin mag-adapt kung gaano kabilis yung paggalaw ng teknolohiya. And yung Trabahong Digital is actually an answer to that call na with the advent of technology, a fast-paced learning will give you much opportunities in the digital space.
So ano matututunan nila doon? Paano kumita sa marketplace, sa TikTok?
Hindi lang
ganon?
ganoon, bibigyan ka talaga ng as in from aspects of upskilling, reskilling until job placement. So it's a whole spectrum. Pwede kang i-assess kung ano yung kulang mo na skill, kung ano yung kailangan mong training, ibibigay siya. Bibigyan ka ng opportunities ng training, ikaw napipili, and then until the end, hanggang magkatrabaho ka, tutulungan ka ng DICT. So it's a whole spectrum of support that we offer to our Filipino constituents.
Hop on! The magic.